Alright, so look, y'all, it's fight week, and we're officially heading into UFC 322, and this one right here has been circling my mind for a little while now. I'm talking Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, and you see, I already know how people are going to be reacting when they hear that I'm picking Jack Della Maddalena to win this fight this Saturday night. I mean, they're going to assume that it's either bias or that it's hate or that you just want the end of the Dagestani era. And while, yeah, that does sound like a pretty glorious future, that ain't what it is, because I respect Islam Makhachev. I mean, he's earned everything he's done in this sport, and he is one of the best we've ever seen in lightweight history. That's real. But at the same time, I genuinely believe that Jack Della Maddalena has not only the tools, but the style as well as the mindset to win this fight in emphatic fashion. And I'm not talking about some miracle or some sudden punch of luck. I mean legit round-by-round technical advantages that play out over time, because at the end of the day, Jack Della Maddalena isn't just another contender getting his shot. He is the undisputed champion for a reason, and he's been carving his way through the division his own way, on his own terms, without trying to be anyone but himself. And heading into fight week, I want to break down exactly why I know Jack Della Maddalena gets it done this Saturday night. 5 real reasons. No hype, no emotion, just what the film shows and what the style suggests, and why I think this matchup leans his way a lot more than what people realize. So let's get into it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share so you can help me reach 3,000 subscribers by May. I'll deeply appreciate you. And make sure you join the official UFC Discord, link in the description. Alright, so look, it's fight week, and man am I excited. UFC 322 in New York City, Madison Square Garden, champ v champ, Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. And look, y'all, I've been waiting to talk about this one. And you see, this isn't just some regular fight. It isn't just another title defense, and this isn't the next chapter in the division, because this is the moment. The moment where everything that's been building finally comes to a head, because we're not just talking about Jack Della defending his belt. We're talking about ending the Dagestani era as we know it, and ending a decade-long undefeated run, but most importantly, getting one back for his boy, Alexander the Great Volkanovski. And before anybody gets emotional in the comment section, this is not an Islam Makhachev video for the 14th time. I'm not here pretending that Islam Makhachev is some type of bum or whatnot. And I'm not doing the whole disrespectful angle, because Islam Makhachev is a generational fighter. I mean, he was a champion for a reason. You know, he's smart, technical, and well-balanced everywhere. We know this. But just because someone's great doesn't mean they're unbeatable. And I truly believe, genuinely, that Jack Della Maddalena is not only capable of beating Islam Makhachev this Saturday night, but he's going to show bona fide levels. And he's going to break a lot of the narratives and expose a lot of the assumptions that people just accepted as fact. And he's going to show the world that we're living in the Jack Della era now. Not the Islam era, but the Jack Della era. That's why reason number 1 solely comes down to the early pressure as well as cage control. I think the first 5 minutes of this fight are going to tell us a lot about not only Islam Makhachev's 170-pound status, but also how he's able to handle that 170-pound pressure. I mean, Jack Della Maddalena isn't going to be one of those guys that Islam Makhachev was fighting back at 155. Jack Della doesn't just stand at range and wait, and he doesn't freeze or overthink. He's a pressure fighter who makes the fight uncomfortable on purpose, and if Jack Della Maddalena comes out early, cuts the cage, and forces Islam Makhachev onto the back foot, then that will change everything. I mean, when Islam Makhachev's the one moving forward, dictating the pace, and mixing in the threat of the takedown, then that's when he truly looks unstoppable. But I think when Islam Makhachev is forced backwards, when he's got no choice but to shoot while retreating instead of shooting with control, he becomes a lot more human. And this matters even more because this is Islam Makhachev's first real fight at 170 pounds. This is the first time he's fighting someone who hits like a true welterweight and someone who is used to the size, the strength, as well as the durability of this weight class. And if Jack Della Maddalena forces him backwards and makes him react instead of initiate, the whole fight dynamic flips upon itself entirely. Reason number 2 is going to be the body and leg work. And look, I think this is a piece of the fight that a lot of the fans are sleeping on the hardest. I mean, Islam's chain wrestling as well as his positional pressure. All of that is built on explosiveness as well as cardiovascular efficiency. I mean, you take away the legs, you take away the lungs, and you essentially take away that entire system. And Jack Della Maddalena has got some of the best body work in not only the division, but probably the entire sport. I mean, he goes to the liver, he digs under the ribs, and he kicks the legs and chips away at the body. These are not just damage shots, but they're control shots. I think if Jack starts investing into the body early and slows Islam down even just a little bit, the takedowns are going to get way harder to secure as the fight goes on. I mean, Islam is not Habib. He doesn't have that endless, unbreakable gas tank. And his game is built upon rhythm, timing, as well as efficiency. And if you can interrupt that engine, the machine's malfunction will soon follow suit. Reason number 3 is the Craig Jones-style anti-wrestling game plan. And look, I'm not sitting here acting as if stuffing Islam Makhachev takedowns are gonna be easy, because they aren't, point blank. I mean, he's kinda elite everywhere, but the mistake that a lot of fighters make when going against Islam Makhachev is trying to defend every takedown, and you don't need to. All you need to do is stuff the important ones, and I'm talking about the ones against the cage and the ones that let Islam Makhachev settle and cook. I mean, I'm assuming that Jack Della as well as his team know this. I mean, he is training with the second greatest BJJ practitioner in the world in Craig Jones for a reason, right? So they should know that they cannot get stuck up against the cage, and they know that they need to be able to circle out and continue to move every time Islam Makhachev tries to walk Jack down. And if Jack can defend the takedowns from the center of the cage and force Islam Makhachev to shoot with more effort to chain attacks from further outside instead of dominant positions, then Islam Makhachev is going to have to start working harder than he ever has to if he wants to be able to do that. And once Islam starts working harder than he wants to or has to, and Jack continues to keep this fight onto the feet, then that's where things get a little interesting. And as for reason number 4, distance management and the jab. And honestly, this one is huge. I mean, Jack Della Maddalena not only has longer arms, but a cleaner jab and pocket entries than in Islam Makhachev. And I think that if he maintains control as well as the range and keeps Islam Makhachev resetting with that jab and prevents him from comfortably entering the mid-range, then Islam Makhachev is going to be forced to shoot from further out under pressure. And when Islam Makhachev is forced to shoot under pressure and not on his terms, the success rate drops astronomically. I think Jack Della wins this fight by dictating the distance, and the mid-range is kind of where Jack Della utterly cooks people, and the mid-range is where the body shots, the counters, as well as the finishing sequence come from. So if Jack Della can keep this fight at his distance, he kind of controls the narrative. And last, but certainly not least, for reason number 5, we've got the mindset. And look, I'm not talking about the heart or grit or any of that cliche stuff. I mean the practical side of approach and preparation. I mean, Jack Della Maddalena is coming into this fight with a very stable identity as a fighter. He doesn't have to change who he is in order to fight Islam, because his style already lends itself to the adjustments needed. You know, things like controlling the pressure, keeping the punches short, holding a tight guard, efficient energy use, and constant body work. He's not going to go out there to try to out-wrestle Islam, or he's not going to go out there to try to out-grapple him either. He isn't trying to reinvent himself when he doesn't have to. Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev does have to make adjustments. I mean, He is the one moving up in weight, facing a physically stronger striker and fighting someone who won't be hesitant or reactive to what he's got to dish out. And in return, that forces Islam Makhachev to answer new questions. So at the end of the day, the mindset here isn't wanting it more, it's more of the difference in who has to change and who doesn't. And going into this fight, Jack Della Maddalena only has to be himself, and Islam Makhachev is the one who has to adapt. And historically, the fighter who has to change the most in order to win is the one walking uphill. So this Saturday night, November 15th, the streak ends and the run stops here. Not because Islam Makhachev suddenly fell off or anything, but because he's finally in there with someone who can match the pace, the physicality, as well as the composure. Jack Della Maddalena's size, his pressure, as well as his clean and efficient shot selection are real problems for Islam Makhachev at 170. And with Islam having to adjust to the new weight and a different type of opponent who won't back down or hesitate, the margin for error just isn't the same anymore. Jack Della Maddalena doesn't have to be perfect in there, but he just has to keep the fight where he's strongest and make Islam work harder than he wants to. That's where the difference shows, and that's truly where the fight is going to tilt. And when everything's all said and done, Jack Della Maddalena's walking out with the belt still over his shoulder. And he's getting one back for Volk. And yeah, we're living in the Jack Della era. But that's all I've got to say for this video. Let me know in the comment section below, who do you guys have this Saturday night? November 15th, Madison Square Garden, champ v champ, Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. Let me know in the comment section below. But that about wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.